welcome back to my channel, welcome to a new video. Sorry about the appalling look, I just can't bother to do my hair today. It's been a day and I needed to do something to distract myself from my thoughts about the day, so I am here doing this video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amelia. I upload weekly vlogs, book videos, that's basically it at the moment. And I love reading and I love theatre. That's what you need to know. Before we get into this video, please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and yeah, let's just get on with it, you know, follow my social medias, all that stuff, but yeah, let's just get on with it because I don't want to be here forever talking. For this video, I am actually going to be doing like a little, I did this 5 months ago, where I kind of reviewed the books that I had read, and I haven't done it since. Now, I have read quite a few more books since that, but there's only going to be like 6 physical ones and 2 that I'm just going to like read pictures on the screen, because to be honest, I'm a little bit lost with what I know some of them I've done in like reading vlogs, so to be fair, you've already heard me talk about it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we've got 6 books, like I said, physically, and then 2 that are not physical. They're like, well, one of them, it would be physical, but my friend's borrowing it at the moment, so I haven't got it to show. And the other one, what I listened to as an audiobook. So we're going to start off with the one I listened to as an audiobook. So, when I started reading a lot of this year, when I started a mission to read, and I was looking at BookTok for book ideas, and before I started doing like BookTube and BookTok videos, the one series that kept coming up was the Addicted series, the Addicted Callaway Sister series. And I was skeptical about it, not because like I didn't think it was gonna be any good. I just thought, I also couldn't find the books to get to the UK at a good price, so I was like, okay, whatever. And then I decided, when I got my AirPods, to get Audible, because I thought it'd be nice to have to listen to something other than music sometimes, just like to listen to a book. So I decided to get, the first book I decided to get was Addicted to You, which is the first book of the Addicted series, and it's based on Lo and Lauren, and I finished it very, very recently, like on Saturday just gone when I'm filming this, and it's about Lo and Lily, as I mentioned. Lo is an alcoholic, and Lily, I keep saying Lauren, don't know why. Lily is a sex addict, and they both try to find ways to help each other with this addiction, and also they fake date for years, because so that they can both have their like addictions and not be judged by family, I guess it is, or like questioned by family. I'm doing a really bad way of explaining it, I'm sorry. And it's kind of like a friends to lovers, but also fake dating trope. So if you like friends to lovers and you like fake dating, then it is more fake dating to then find love, but they were also friends as well, like best friends, and they fell in love. So if you like that kind of trope, then you would like this book. Those kind of tropes, because I think the fake dating helps, but like romance starts as I can't remember the word. The fake dating is what starts all, but the friends to lovers is the reason they are fall in love. But obviously they have obstacles to face, like Lo's addiction to alcohol and Lily's addiction to sex, and like they're having to fight it. I rated this book a 3.75. I thought it was a really good book and a really good start to the series, but the beginning was great, the end was great, absolutely loved the ending, I my heart. Middle was a bit meh. Throughout the book I did not like Lo, and I think it wasn't meant to not like Lo at first, but like I didn't like him. Lily, I'm not obsessed, like I like Lily, I'm just not obsessed with Lily yet. I think later on in the series I might like her a bit more, but I'm not as obsessed with Lily. But Lo, on the other hand, flipped it around for me. So I really liked that, but I think it was a little too slow for me, but it is only the start of the series, so 3.75 for Addicted to You. I definitely recommend it, and if you are looking for a good series to get involved into, I think it would be a good one. Currently I'm not listening to the next one, Audible. I'm listening to As Seen on TV, but once that one's finished I'm probably going to get the next Addicted One series. I need to look up the order because I get so confused. The next one is obviously not a physical copy because I'll show you to talk about it first. The one that I haven't got a physical copy of yet, but then I'll get some physical ones. And it is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book, I'm going to have to get my ratings up though because I don't really remember, I get confused with what I rate things. I forget sometimes. So that sounds really bad. So the next one is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is about a girl. What's her name? See, that's why I need the book in front of me because I know the name, but you know you can't remember it off the top of your head. Emma, who falls in love with her high school sweetheart Jessie. They get married. They have like such a happy, cute little like it's like a traveling romance life, and it's adorable. And then eventually something drastic and tragic happens to Jessie. It's about to be their first wedding anniversary, and then he goes on a trip for work. And so yes, on their wedding anniversary, Jesse's on a work trip. I'm gonna sneeze. And he gets into a helicopter accident, which he is assumed dead. So 5 years down the line, she then moves on, meets Sam, who she actually met when she was younger. They used to work together, and it's another cute love story. And then suddenly Jessie's back after she is engaged to Sam. Jessie is back, and now she has to make a decision of who she wants to be with, because technically she is engaged, but she's also still married, and she doesn't want to hurt neither of them, but realises that her relationship with Jessie isn't the same anymore, and it probably wasn't going to be the same anymore. And it is, I loved it. It was so gripping. I read it in my 24-hour reading vlog, the last one I did when I had COVID, and it was a very kind of like eventful time because I was ill, so I was very emotional anyway, because I was like, a lot of things I wanted to do got cancelled, but it was okay. But this book had a chokehold on me in one day. I loved it so much. It was such a good story. I just really loved the idea of Jessie and Emma, and then Emma and Sam, and then I loved it when she had to make that decision of who she wanted, because I did not know throughout the whole time who she was going to choose. It was very much I just genuinely didn't. I was hoping she'd choose Sam, but then I thought she's going to choose Jessie. Like, come on. If you hear the story of her and Jessie, you're going to think she's going to choose Jessie. And in the end, she ended up choosing Sam, and I was like, yes. I just think it was such a perfect story. So this book got a 5 stars from me because it was just a beautiful story. I also lied, there's actually 7 physical books that I'm going to show you. So we're going to start with Daisy Jones and the Six. I read this quite a while ago actually, I'll be honest. I think I read it about May time. Yeah, it was around May to the beginning of June when I was doing my show. And I spilled Slush Puppy on it when I went to see Heather's. But that's like a Malibu and Slush Puppy. So it's giving a bit of colour. But yes, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Another Taylor Jenkins Reid book. This book honestly has also had me in a chokehold. I love the style, like interview style, that kind of story. I feel like you really get every single person from this book's point of view in that exact moment. Like when you have dual point of view books, it's never in the same moment usually, or like at the same time. But oh my god, this book is phenomenal. I absolutely adore it. I think Daisy was such a, I think she's a bit a challenging but lovable character. I absolutely loved her character. I think for the time, this was based in the, what, 70s, so it tells you at the beginning of the thing, in like the 60s, 70s time. And honestly, it's such a, yeah, around the 1960s. So in that time, the things she was doing would have happened. But obviously nowadays, the stuff she was doing would be very abnormal. But back in those times, it was very normal for people to be like doing drugs a lot and stuff like that. Like, it was near enough. I feel like if you're in the industry that Daisy Jones and all the boys, the six were, that was kind of their lifestyle. And I just loved Daisy for the fact of who she was, and she was kind of unapologetically that. I loved when she actually wanted to get sober, and then I forgot his name, but it was someone who basically, I think his name was Ted. Maybe it wasn't Ted, but I think it was Ted. Yeah, I think it was Ted. I might be wrong, but I think it was Ted. Passed away, and yeah, she decided not to. I just loved it, and I loved Billy because he fell in love with, oh my god, I nearly said Rachel. It's not Rachel. What's her name? Oh my god, why do I not remember most of the names? Camilla. He fell in love with Camilla, and he was adorable. It was like, and then they got married. She got pregnant, and he kind of like, because he didn't grow up with a dad. And it was just to the point where he's like, thought he was going to be the same, so he just spent his whole time like getting wasted and getting high and stuff like that, and then sleeping with other girls, and then how Camilla still loved him even though that was probably the worst thing he could have done, and then he went to rehab, got help, and then he stayed sober even at the end. The ending, this whole ending of the story was gorgeous, and I loved it. And the way that ending, Taylor Jenkins Reid is a thing. I can't, like, when you find out it's his daughter that is actually doing the interview, I can't. I just think it's just a perfect book, which is why this got 5 stars for me. I just loved it. I loved the way it was written. I loved the story. I just loved everything about it. I'm really bad at doing reviews. I'm very sorry. Next one that we have is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. This is actually a non-fictional book, and I read it for one of my 24-hour reading challenges. The first one I did, I didn't do very well in. This book is about Dolly's life, like, when she's growing up in her 20s, and, like, I just loved it because I think I watched the series first and then read this, and I just think it's very relatable for, like, if you're in your 20s, this book is so relatable that she's just explaining how, like, life is. And I actually really do believe that this book can actually really do, if you're in your 20s and you're feeling lost, and you think it's not normal, this book kind of proves to you that it is normal to be lost in your 20s. That's the whole point. And I think it's just it's a really interesting way to see her life and think, okay, this girl had her, like, it's not just you who's got lost in her lives, like, a lot of people, like, it's normal for people our age to be, like, lost. And I was about to be ironic and go, I felt lost today, but that's because I lost my phone for, like, 4 or 5 hours, So I don't know why I moved around to put this back because I didn't even tell you what I rated it. I rated this about 3.5, 3.75 stars. Feels 3.75. I liked it, I really did enjoy it, I think it was very relatable, but it just wasn't my favourite. But I think it's because I'm not a non-fictional girl. I'm very much a fiction girl, so a non-fictional book I probably would never rate a high percentage, high star. Like, I like it, but not I can be obsessed about. Then we have Book Lovers. I feel like I'm literally giving you most of the books I read in my reading vlog, my 24-hour reading challenges, and I'm sorry because you probably already know the ratings if you watched that. But I wanted to do like an overall review of a few of the books I've read so far. So we've got Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I had heard so much about this book. I think it was average for me. I liked it, but I feel like so many people raved it up for me that I was getting so excited for it to be like a really good book, which is why it was the first book I read of hers, not Beach Read. Or people, to be fair, when I was going to read this book, I only had Beach Read. I now have the other people. You and Me on Vacation is the UK version. I think, yeah. And I only read that. I haven't read that yet. I don't know why I read it. But I did this one first because everyone had hyped it up. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it, and Nora and Charlie had a cute romance, and I did like the enemies to lovers feeling of this book. But it just didn't grip me. It took me a while to get into this book, and the only reason I think I finished it when I did is because I put my mind to do this 24-hour reading challenge. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have read it. So, yeah, there's that. I gave this 3.5 stars. I liked Nora and Charlie, and I liked Nora and her sister in a way, like, it did irritate me a lot though that she was very much doing things to make her sister happy, to the point when her sister was doing something that was right for her, she got upset. And I'm like, I understand you care about your sister, but you've got to do what's right for you first. Like, you're a grown adult and you're giving up a dream job for your sister just because your mum passed away. Like, I understand I've not been through the thought of losing a parent, so I'm very lucky, and I understand that when you've lost a parent, you've got a younger sister, you've got to care. But when you're both adults, you can't just put your whole life on hold just because of it. If that makes sense. It was bothering me that Nora was putting her dream. She gave up a dream job because of her sister, and it's like you're basically saying it's your sister's fault that you didn't get the job, even though it's not. But you know, but I did like the book though, and I still did enjoy it, so I get a 3.5 stars from me. The next one is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I don't know what the question who it was by. If you have been watching my videos, you will know that Colleen Hoover is one of my favourite authors. This would have been the 4th book I've read of hers. Yeah, and I haven't read anything since. Not because I don't want to, it's just I've got other books that I'm trying to get through and I don't want to just put them on hold for Colleen Hoover. This book is about Quinn and Graham. Is it Graham? What's his name? I feel like it's not Graham, but it could be. It is Graham. So, Quinn and Graham meet because her fiance was cheating on her with Graham's girlfriend, and then they end up like falling for each other, and now 7 years later they are married, but they've got problems. Like, they want to have a baby, but it's proven difficult, if not impossible, I guess. But I don't say it's impossible, it's proven difficult. And it put a strain on their marriage, and I think Quinn forgot what love was and was too disheartened by the idea of the fact that she can't have a baby. And I don't know how to describe it, but this book, I without being like disheartening, because I don't want to be rude, because I know it's difficult, and I do say if you are experiencing that and you are struggling and it is emotional for you, do not read this book, because it will probably make it worse, because they do talk about it a lot, and I think because it is the pinpoint of the reason why their marriage is not the greatest. But I did really enjoy this book. It took me a while to enjoy it though. I was for majority of the book I was like, this is gonna be a 3-star book, and then by the last, I say 25%, I realized I put it to 4 stars because it was really good. I did really like it. Quinn annoyed me a lot through it. It took me a while to like her. I could understand the frustration for her, but I don't think she realised that it's also frustrating for him. And yeah, it was difficult. So yeah, this was part of my 24-hour reading challenge as well. But yeah, like I said, it got 4 stars from me because it ended up becoming really cute. And I do love the way it worked out and what happened. And obviously Coho has her way of spinning things around. It was crazy. The next one, it was another one from it was my last one for my 24-hour reading vlog. It's The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. This is the first book I read of hers. And look how many aspects I tabbed it. I absolutely adored this book. I think it was just good. The beginning was a little slow just to get into what was going to happen, but once we got into it, oh my god. Olive and Ethan hated each other. They had to go on a honeymoon because the bride and groom and the wedding guests all got food poisoning except those two. And then, well, one thing leads to another. They end up falling for each other, and then but there's more drama to it, and that's what I love about it, because the drama relates to Olive's twin sister Amy and her husband, which I don't remember his name. And am I gonna have to go through the book just to find out his name? I don't remember his name, but yeah, I think they are brothers, and our brothers are best friends. Oh my god. But anyway, I'm going to say forever trying to figure that one out. This book was good, it was interesting, and the drama that happened I absolutely adored. You can quite clearly see by the amount I tabbed it, like. And by the way, I might as well add here, since it's got the most tabs that you're seeing today, I don't really have a specific order of what I tab my books. So like, you know how everyone has like each colour for like love, or colour for love, or colour for sad, colour for happy. Like, I just put whatever colour I want, wherever, at a point where I want to remember, or I found I just liked, and that's what I do. So that's what I did with this one. Because I just think it's easier for me than trying to come up with a key for it, because I just forget. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book. So I gave it I can't speak today. I gave it a 4-star rating because it was really good and so worth my time reading. I read it in a day for the 24-hour reading challenge, and I loved it. Now we've got 2 more books left, and they weren't part of a challenge, or even a reading vlog. There were just 2 books. I kind of really wish I vlogged one of them though, because it was, I think that both of them were ripping my chest out, but this one that I'm about to speak about, I feel like I should have left till last, but I'm not going to. It's Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. This is my all-time favourite one of hers. I honestly loved this book way too much. Like, honestly, I love it to the point where I am listening to it on Audible. I read this, like, it was like probably July? 17th to the 19th of June. I read it in 2 days. This book had me in a chokehold. Hearing it on Audible, the way, like, the voices, like, the way they are when they're talking, I can feel it, and I felt it when I was reading it, and I'm obsessed. Like, oh my god, this book. I honestly, I had all the feelings going through this book, like all the emotions, everything. Like, I felt like I was in the moment of this book, to the point where I was like wanting to act it out myself. So this is what obviously got me. I gave it a 5 stars. It's about Kenna, who was dating Scotty. Then they got in a car accident and Scotty died, and she went to jail. She also was pregnant with his kid. So Scotty's parents got custody of her daughter, DM, and then Ledger, who was Scotty's childhood best friend, becomes kind of quite close with DM and like Scotty's family, so he's a big part of DM's life. And then 5 years later, Kenna is out of prison, tries to get custody, and obviously meets Ledger before, lies about her name because she doesn't want people knowing she's back yet. And then well, it goes from there. Like, she tries to get her daughter back, and then Ledger finds out who she is and gets angry, and Oh my god, the twist and turns of this book, and then when Ledger gets to read the letters about what happened to Scotty that night, I actually felt my heart rip out my chest. The way he actually saw it from her eyes for once, and not just see it from Grace and Patrick's eyes. Like, I think this book made you realise, like, both, in some instances, there's two sides to every story, and people who are on the opposite side will choose to believe their side, not even take notice of the other person's side, and vice versa. But you realise that I'm sympathetic for both of them. Like, I can understand Grace and Patrick's point of view of, like, how they are, because obviously their son died and it was partly her fault. But I can also understand her point of view where she's being wanting a part of Theo's life. Like, she feels guilty for it every day, and that's why I love this book, because the way it shows that story, I'm just like, I actually can't get over it, and I'm smiling because of how much I love this book. So that's why I got 5 stars from me. And then finally is a book I actually didn't expect to love as much as I did, I'll be honest. I love Carrie Hope Fletcher as an actor. I knew I did. But I didn't think I loved her as much as a writer, because I'd never read a book of hers. So I was like, I'm going to give myself... So I got a bit bummed up. I'm going to give myself the opportunity to try and read a book and see how I feel. I bought With This Kiss, her latest book, and I built it, and I was like, okay, I need to give this a read sooner or later, otherwise I'm never going to read it. I tabbed it quite a bit. Absolutely love this book. It's about a girl called Lorelai, and she can see the future of how someone's going to die every time she kisses them. So it does obviously impact like a relationship for her, and it's very intense. And she meets this guy Grayson, who is the sweetest guy, and if you read this book you will feel for him, because I was obsessed with him. I was like, oh my, I need a Grayson in my life. And this book just was amazing. The way the story twists and turns. She wanted to love, like, she wanted to be doing this with Grayson but couldn't. Grayson didn't understand why, and yeah. And then when she got on a plane to New York just to tell Grayson that he's gonna die on a plane. Sorry for spoilers, but I had to say it. Madness. But I absolutely loved it. So this book got 5 stars from me. Carrie Hope Fletcher got 5 stars from me on the first book I've read of hers, because it's just, I loved it. Absolutely adored it. So I definitely recommend. And finally, I'm going to quickly briefly talk about the book I'm currently reading. I can't bother to get it off the shelf, but the book I'm currently reading is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, and I am loving it. I'm 67% of the way through, so it should be finished very soon, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a really good book, great story. I'm obsessed with Archer. My heart goes out for that boy. With him, I just can't. I love him so much. I think this book isn't leaning towards 5 stars, but it's close to it. I think it's going to be a 4.5 star. I don't think I could give it just a 4 stars. I think it's going to be a 4.5 stars, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I do hope you enjoyed. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below. Please subscribe, and please follow my social medias linked down below.